Yo, what is going on, guys? Crypto Vibes here, also known as Crypto. Bringing you guys another video, and today, guys, we have our Week 4 matchup in Remnants, going up against Ryo and his Pittsburgh Huge Powers. Definitely was looking forward to this match. I know Ryo is a really solid player, and I definitely want to get a chance to play him. And his record right now doesn't show how good he is because he's 1-2 at the moment, but I know he's a really solid player. I've seen him in battles before and stuff. He's in like the Hive and stuff, so he's a pretty solid player. Not in some other big leads and stuff, I'm not sure. But yeah. Looking at his team, he's definitely got a scary team. I definitely should have asked him or somebody else this going in the match, but the bolded letters you see on the teams are the Z users, and on his he only has Latios and what is the other one? Stakataka? Yeah, as his Z users. So yeah, it only shows 2, so I'm pretty sure he has a third one, unless he just forgot to say it and just doesn't have one. I don't know. But right now he has 2 Z users, and I didn't ask going in the match, and I didn't have, like, say Crocodile was a Z user. I would have been so surprised if he threw off a Z move, so I definitely should have asked about that, but it did not end up coming into play, thank goodness, for that reason. Looking at his team, he's definitely got a threatening roster. I'll go ahead and go over it real quick. He has the Latios, Entei, Sakataka, Roserade, Rabombi, Tauros, Zapdos, Vikavolt, Crocodile, Mandibuzz, and Mega Gyarados. His users that I know of is Latios and Sakataka. So, yeah. The first one on my team you'll see, I'll explain in a second, but it kind of just goes in. Being that his only normal resist is Stakataka, which doesn't really have the greatest matchup in my opinion in this game, where I have things just like Diggersby in general, which puts a lot of pressure on it, Shaman, Tapu Fini, Mega Manectric can Volt Switch on it very easily. Even like a Mew running good coverage for it could just be a problem for it, so it doesn't really have the best matchup against my team in my opinion. Even like Hariyama getting 4 times super effective hits off on it, so it's just not that great. And I guess Steelix can check it too, so yeah. A lot of things that kind of hold Stakataka back, which makes me think Diggersby could be really solid this game. Whereas Return, I guess I'll go ahead and get into the Diggersby set. Running Life Orb this week with 3 attacks agility. Return's really all I need to click unless he brings the Stakataka. Then I have the Earthquake on deck for that. Superpower is there, and if I'm in a scenario where I feel like Stakataka might have a Shuka Berry just prep for this thing, then I would go for the Superpower in that scenario, because I think Shuka is way more likely than Chople against my team. Whereas I could have like Earthquake on this, I can bring like some kind of ground. I guess if you brought like Chople for Hariyama, that makes sense, but Diggersby just does so much more against the team in my opinion, so I think Shuka would make sense if he does bring it. And then Agility is really solid, because this is my main win comp for this game. As Superpower is really good too, because it hits Mega Gyarados a lot harder than Return would. Or not a lot harder, but harder. And then if he doesn't hit me with the Intimidate, he's already Mega or whatnot. I'm pretty sure I have a chance to knock him out if he doesn't have any bulk. I'm not sure exactly, but the speed we are running is 220 Adamant. After an Agility, we outspeed a Choice Scarf Entei, I believe is what I prepped for on that. I didn't want to. I wanted Adamant over Jolly. If he brought Choice Scarf Latios, which was like the one thing that could outspeed this, if he brought Scarf, or like Choice Scarf or Rombi or something, but like the Latios, if he brought that Choice Scarf, they really just didn't have a good matchup otherwise, because I've things in my team you'll see coming up that can really take on Choice Scarf Latios, so I didn't see that as a bring. So I thought Agility Diggersby with this much speed was pretty solid against him. And then the move coverage is pretty self-explanatory, and Life Orb just to hit harder, so really solid this game. It should be able to put in a lot of work. Get into my next mon. This was really a support mon this week, but it is holding my Z Crystal, and that's Tornadus Therian with the Titanium Z, Air Slash, Focus Blast, Toxic, and Defog. Yeah, I'm running Titanium because a lot of things I don't like, and I want to be able to hit it with Titanium. Like the Mega Gyarados is one thing in particular that I think is going to be a little bit of a problem for the team I'm bringing. Not necessarily my team as a whole, but the team I'm bringing, Mega Gyarados causes a little bit of problems. So I definitely want to be able to hit that. Toxic is there in case he has something like, well, I'm expecting like his Zapdos to be a switch into this, or something like a Crocodile, maybe not Crocodile, but Zapdos particularly, and I need to be able to chip those things down for Diggersby in late game to potentially win after getting Agility up. And then I threw Defog as my last move on here because he does have Rabombi as Sticky Web user. If he does decide to bring it, which he could, he definitely could. I think it's like up in the air if he brings it right now or not, but I definitely will be able to get rid of the Sticky Webs for Diggersby, of course. And Tornadus is definitely my most reliable defogger this game, as it does pretty well. It's my fastest mon, fastest defogger, I guess. It's just good overall. And I decided to go Air Slash over Hurricane this game too, is because Air Slash for super effective hits the Rabambi and the Roserade. It OHKOs the Rabambi, and then it two shots a bulky Roserade, which I think would be like the only Roserade he said he brings against me, like a spike set maybe, or like a bulky Roserade in general. I don't think offensive doesn't make too much sense in my opinion, just because it gets OHKO'd by a lot of things on my team, and it would struggle with, like Alolan Muck and stuff, I guess. And like Mew and stuff, so like a bulky set maybe makes sense with spikes or something, but I decided to go Air Slash because it two-shot a bulky Roserade, as well as Hurricane would not OHKO, so Air Slash was my better bring here in my opinion, as well as it just got, it was just a lot more reliable than Hurricane this game too, because I need to be able to hit Air Slash on certain setup mons if I have them toxic already. I need to be able to rack up as much chip as possible for them to be closer to range and toxic and like Diggersby and stuff, so yeah, that's the Tornado set. I thought it was pretty decent this game. As I get into my next one, we're bringing Mega Manectric because it's really solid. His only immunity is Crocodile, whereas he actually does have a really good switch in being Latios to this thing, so I think Volt Switching is pretty free with this mon, and it does grab a lot of momentum for my team and gives me good switches to certain mons that I need to be in. Thunderbolt, because I want to be able to hit as hard as possible against the Mega Gyarados. Then we have the Overheat, because it can OHKO certain things like the Rabambi, an offensive Roserade. I think it's close to OHKO on a defensive Roserade, probably does, to be honest, but we are forced to run Timid because it does have the Rabambi, so we're speed gripping that, which is pretty solid. And then the rest in special defense, just in case in case it's a setup Latios and I don't have potential chance to like switch out and it's like Calm on Latios or something, I want to be able to toxic that. Put it on timer and then potentially take a hit and just Thunderbolt it down for some damage, maybe take a hit after like a +1 or something, is the plan. I just want to be able to enable my chances to live against that thing. As well as Mega Manectric's really nice this game with the Intimidate, as it does kind of negate a Dragon Dance Latios if you decide to bring that, and it does, you know, weaken a Mega Gyarados Dragon Dance set, which I definitely expect him to bring, which is pretty solid against my team. Overall, Mega Manectric just pretty solid pivot against the team. It's pretty strong against certain mons. Yeah, it's really good against the Zapdos too, because I have Toxic on this. I can just wear things down like that. Mandibuzz does not really have a great matchup against my team. But yeah, right now I'm looking at my team and I've noticed that Entei is still a huge problem, like a banded Entei. So my next mon I definitely need to bring this is my Tapu Fini set. It's very defensive. We're running enough speed, I believe, to what is this? I believe we're creeping something creeping us. I don't remember what's Ace. Maybe I'll think of it while I'm talking about it, but we're running a very defensive Tapu Fini set with Surf, Reflect, Light Screen, and Moonblast. Surf and Moonblast are just very nice coverage overall. I would have liked to run Haze on this if I possibly could have for the Mega Gyarados over Surf, but Surf was just really good for things like Entei and the Takataka, which was this thing's main job to switch into, and Dual Screens is just really good overall in my opinion, just for longevity for my team, just switching around and stuff, as I'm bringing a pretty my team doesn't really have the best recovery this week, so I'm bringing I'm bringing screens to help me out with that a little bit, switch into things like setup mons and stuff a little bit easier and make me deal with them for a longer period of time. And Light Clay is just nice for that. So Tapu Fini might not be sticking around too long, but if we can keep the screens up and then weaken things like the Entei and Stakataka if it comes, then definitely something that'll definitely be good. And we're running 52 special attack EVs. That ensures that I can two-shot a Mega Gyarados with no bulk investment at all. So that's going to be very nice, but considering it could just start setting up. And Gyarados doesn't get any reliable recovery like Roost or anything, so he would be forced to like rest or something, which wouldn't help him in that scenario. Now, obviously, I'm leaving myself a little bit exposed to Calm on Latios with this set, as it can kind of, I think it can set up on me. Maybe if it gets one Calm on up before I'm in, it can set up on me, but this isn't my main switch into Latios anyways. But yeah, getting my next one, we are bringing my Mew, Genesis, with Leftover, Stealth Rock, Super Fang, Roost, Taunt, and yeah. This set is to kind of wear down his defensive mons for Diggersby, as I can Super Fang taunt them and then maybe get a switch out to Fini or something, get some screens up, and then like let Diggersby or Mega Manectric come in and put in some offensive work. Stealth Rock is very good against the team. I believe he has 6 Pokemon that are weak to Stealth Rocks. Mega Gyarados before Mega Evolving is weak, but it's like 5.5. So like he has a lot of Stealth Rock weaknesses, so if I can get the rocks up, that'd be very nice against his team. And then Super Fang taunt was like my best way of chipping down his defensive mons for Diggersby, just because I didn't have the best coverage options for Mew, I guess, considering I wanted Stealth Rock and Roost on this set. And then we're running very defensive overall. I believe this set allows me to... I think it allows me to take a +1 Crunch from Mega Gyarados. That's the plan, because if I can get a Super Fang off, that means Tapu Fini should be able to knock it out with a Moonblast without long turn if I have to come in like that. So that's always an option there, as he could continue to set up on my Mew, but like that's always risking if I have a coverage move or something. So I would try to keep a move hidden or something if I was against Mega Gyarados, so he wouldn't think he can just set up to like plus 3, plus 4 or something like that. And then he always has to worry about priority and stuff on my team. Like Diggersby could have quick attack, which it doesn't, and Alolan could have like, well, Alolan Shadow Sneak only does like 6% to Mega Gyarados, so that wasn't even worth it. But overall, that was nice. The speed, I believe we're running enough speed for Zapdos creeping a non-speed Mew, so we can chip that thing down and taunt it while we do so, which is nice. And the Spadef investments, I think maybe it lets us take a +1 Draco from a Latios into another Draco after that, something like that, and then we can roost off and whatnot. So maybe that's what it was. I don't remember exactly looking at his team, to be completely honest with you guys. Yeah. And then get into my last model. Like I said, a Dragonance Latios could be a little scary for my team, depending on what kind of coverage he's running. Or not a Dragonance Latios, a Curse, or a Calm Mind Latios. A Calm Mind Latios can be pretty scary against my team, so I have to bring a little Muck this week, as it's really good against that. A Soul Vest Little Muck, it's a pretty good switch into, it's a really good switch into Roserade. It is a good switch into Rabombi. It's a good switch into Zapdos. It scares those things a lot with like poison and stuff from my poison touch, poison jabs and stuff like that. And even knockoffs just really solid overall. I'm running Pursuit. I got through the game. I'll talk about that later. But running Pursuit mainly for the Latios. I guess it's just for the Latios. Yeah, if we were to have the Latios after, I think it's after Rocks. This Latios, no invested Latios dies to Pursuit. And then the Focus Punch, you see the Focus Punch tech right there. We're packing that for the Mega Gyarados specifically, as well as like Crocodile and stuff. So if those, and then I believe was there one other mon? Oh, Sakataka. Look, those are all likely switch-ins to Mega or to Alolan Muck. So if the Mega Gyarados is already Mega, of course, that would be really good. If it's not Mega, I wouldn't want to go for Focus Punch if I think that's gonna be the switch-in. But for Crocodile and Sakataka mainly, because those are two really solid switch-ins to this. Considering that considering Crocodile pressures me a lot offensively, and then the Stakataka just doesn't take anything from the Alolan Muck, especially if it's Z move. My knockoff won't do anything. So Focus Punch is there to catch those things on the switches, which is really nice overall. And I think the Spadef, what is this Spadef for? Helps us out again with Calm Mind Latios probably. Like I don't remember the exact sets for this reasoning, but it definitely mattered. It definitely mattered during prep, in my opinion. That was pretty helpful. So that was the overall team. The plan is obviously weaken things and then get in Diggersby and potentially win. So Spheeny is just going to be a really good support option this week. Mew is going to be a very good mod to just chip things down. Mega Manectric for momentum. Tornadus to, again, chip things down. A little Muck Trap Latios and be just a nuisance to his team overall. And then Diggersby win. That's the plan at least. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get right into the match. Alright, we're back in the match, guys, and we're up against Ryo, as he did decide to bring the Entei, which, oh my god, the Entei is a threat. It's definitely a threat. He's brought the Crocodile, which is another threat, brought the Latios, Mega Gyarados, which is by far the biggest threat to me on this team, in my opinion, the Zapdos, and then the Tauros, which is really something I didn't talk about very much, which I probably should have. If I didn't bring Steelix, the Tauros has a pretty good time against my team, so yeah. Tauros is really, really scary this game. I did prep for it, I just didn't talk about it as much as I should have right there, but yeah, Tauros is definitely a problem. As well as the Mega Gyarados, like I'm explaining, because Tapu Fini kind of is my only thing for those two, as well as far as taking hits. So, looking at this matchup, actually Tapu Fini has a really solid matchup against his team outside of Zapdos. Outside of Zapdos, the Fini has a really good lead as well, so I think I'm just going to lead with Fini right here. As it is going to be my lead choice, has a good lead against 5 of the 6 mons. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it, as he decides to lead the Latios. Now, like I said, this is one of his users. This type of Fini is specifically defensive to take on Entei, as well as like Tauros and stuff, Mega Gyarados. It does not deal with Calm Mind Latios that well. Now, he could Calm Mind it. Like, him Calm Mind is kind of a bad play in case I just Moonblast, straight up Moonblast, which is something I definitely could do. But this being one of his users, I am definitely want to scout right away. If he's running like Z Thunder, he could just knock me out right here, which is something I'm definitely going to respect, considering Ryo's a good player, and I want to be able to scout for that. So I'm going to pull the switch into my Mega Manectric. It is a very weird play. He's either going to go for the Z Thunder if he has it, or he's going to switch out. If he has the Z Thunder and then have to call mine on top of that, I can always just Volt Switch out and then go into my Alolan Muck. It gives me a good pivot that way. I could have went to my Alolan Luck instead of Manectric because it wouldn't be as risky, but like Z Thunder was like the one thing that was on my mind. And if he did pull a double, it would be to the one thing that it would be to something that could take a Moonblast, which Entei could be a play, but then it would have to deal with like a Surf afterwards, and then Zapdos was the more likely play in my opinion. But I am going to predict him to go for the Z Thunder or Switch. He actually switches out into Entei, which is a little weird in my opinion, but I pull a switch into my Mega Manectric. So once again, we're neither of us have attacked each other. We're just getting into the game. Mega Manectric against Entei. So I believe I have just Volt Switch right here, as it's pretty good. His only immunity is Crocodile. I don't expect him to go straight into Crocodile this early in the game. Latios would be more than likely in my opinion, or he could just stay in. If he Scarfed Entei, he gets about half off of me with the Sacred Fire, which would be pretty annoying because my Mega Manectric is pretty nice against his team, and I want to keep it pretty healthy. But on the off chance he's banded, which I actually think he's going to be banded just because it hits my team really hard, I am just going to click Volt Switch right here on the Mega, and I do get the Intimidate on top of that, so that's very nice. Because that does quite a bit, 47%. I go right back into my Tapu Fini as he goes for the Stone Edge, and even after the Intimidate, that does 24%, so this is definitely banded Entei after I check the calcs. And right here, I believe I set up he gets a crit on the next Stone Edge, which is pretty annoying, but it is what it is. Stone Edge gets high critical hit, I understand it. It's not like, I mean, it's not really hacks, I guess. It's a high critical hit move. I get my light screen up right here. I expected him to like 100% go Zapdos this game, so him not going Zapdos originally on my Tapu Fini was very strange in my opinion, and then him staying in right here, clicking Stone Edge against my Fini, not going Zapdos was a little bit weird. So I'm like kind of wondering in the back of my head, like what could this Zapdos be, like what kind of purpose does this Zapdos serve on his team if it's not switching into Tapu Fini? I get my light screen up right here. I am going to save my Tapu Fini because it can just be Death Fodder. It gets terrain, so Entei cannot burn anything on my team. It does not let Mega Gyarados or Latios set up for free. It's pretty nice to just keep around. As I know he's locked into Stone Edge right here. I can go into my Diggersby actually and just scare him out, but the return actually kills him right here. So he goes into Crocodile. I'm expecting this to be Intimidate, but he's actually not, and Crocodile just falls over. So Life Orb Diggersby already picking up a kill. Had I Agility right there, it wasn't really my best play because he always could have what is it? He always could have went Gyarados, I guess, and then got the Intimidate off, got me -1 attack, and then I would have just had to switch out, whereas Return was just better because I would have got immediate damage off on something, so that was the idea behind that. As he brings in Gyarados right here, which is definitely threatening because now I know he's probably just going to start setting up, especially after getting the Intimidate off, and I go into my Mega Manectric to get the Intimidate off on him. As I believe he just goes straight for the Waterfall, which is a fine play as it does a little bit less than half, as he brings right back in the Entei. So I click Volt Switch right here again, pretty much thinking he's not going to stay in. And pretty much knowing he's not going to stay in. He goes into Entei, almost knock him out, as I want to go into something that can reliably just take this out at this point. And my only things faster, I Volt Switched with Mega Manectric, so my only other options were Tornadus. That was the only faster thing than Entei at this point, so I didn't want anything to take a hit, although at the time I wasn't really thinking about extreme speed, but it's not the biggest deal because this is my Regenerator Mon on top of that, so it does a crap ton, 53, but I am able to knock him off the Air Slash as Entei goes down. Zapdos is going to come in, and that's going to immediately force me out, and once again, I am just going to sack my Fini. I actually am just going to sack my Fini right here, but I did wonder about the Zapdos a little bit, as he actually shows the Agility right here, so right away I'm like, okay, this is Agility Baton Pass. I've seen this before, I've seen a couple people use this set. It's a good set, it's definitely a good set, but this is free for me to just fire off a Moonblast, as nothing coming in really wants to take a Moonblast, as it's going to be very good just to chip it down for my next Pokemon to come in and potentially revenge. He goes into the Tauros right here, which is obviously very scary. I do hit the Moonblast, it does about 54%, and he is able to knock me out the Iron Head. So, not the worst thing in the world because, well, it is pretty bad in a sense, because I am going to go into my Alolan Muck, whereas my only other play would have been go into Tornadus, then I think I would have had to go into Tornadus and then sack something, which I didn't want to sack anything. Like, the most expendable at this point was probably my Mew. Considering his Zapdos was Agility, so he could outspeed it and whatnot, so I couldn't really taunt it, and I don't really know what his last 2 moves are, or I don't know what his last 3 moves are, I guess, at this point. He's only shown, well, his last 2 moves, he's shown Agility and Baton Pass, so I didn't want my Mew gone exactly yet, so my only other play besides going Muck was go into Tornadus, go into Mew, basically sack that off, and then double back out to Tornadus, and then Tornadus could take a hit from Full against this thing, I believe, unless it was like Adamant Stone Edge, which it's not something I wanted to risk. It was not something I wanted to risk. And where that could have been nice is I would have kept my Alolan Muck healthy and I would have dealt with a Calmon Latios, but I wasn't sure what the Latios set was either, so I was just going to go to my Alolan Muck here and keep the rest of my team healthy, which I thought was a fine play, but I did not like my Alolan Muck getting weakened right here. But He's going to go for the Earthquake. It does not knock me out. I know I can take any one hit from this guy. And I go for the knockoff and finish him off. Now, this next play was pretty much, it was probably, it helped me out a lot, basically. He brings in Mega Gyarados, so this is an automatic Dragon Dance for him if he's seen one. Like, this is definitely Dragon Dance. So I am going to click Focus Punch right here. If he wants, it's really a no drawback play at this point, because if he clicks Waterfall, he knocks me out. If he clicks Dragon Dance, I am able to get the Focus Punch off on him, which is pretty huge, because that'll put him in range of any one of my other Pokemon's attacks, you'll see what happens. Like, I go for the Focus Punch right here. I believe it does like 78 to like 91%. I think I get a pretty high roll right here, bringing him down to 10%, meaning he doesn't have any bulk on this. He's going to knock me out with the Earthquake right here after getting +1. And then I'm going to go into my Mega Manectric, essentially just sacking it off at this point. It can do pretty well against the Zapdos, Toxicking it and Thunderbolting it. Whereas the rest of my team can't. I need to get Toxic off on either Zapdos or Latios to be able to win this game in the back. So even though I am up at this position 4-3, about to be 3-3, I guess, after getting the Intimidate off, knocks me out the Waterfall. I still am very nervous at this point because I'm going to go into Tornadus right here. I know I can take a Waterfall as long as I do not get flinched. I do not get the Air Slash off right there. Like, if I had Hurricane as my only thing to hit that guy, oh my gosh, I would not have wanted that. So Air Slash definitely coming through as he's going to bring in the Latios. So this is definitely telling me that he has probably set up Latios, which, if he's Calm Mind, I'm like, you know, mad at myself for letting my little muck go, but at the same time, I didn't really have the best of plays around it. So he is actually going, I'm going to get the Toxic off, which is huge. If I get the Toxic off right here, it's huge, because if he starts setting up, that means my Mew can essentially potentially take it on, Super Fang it down, Roost up, and then just chip this thing out and kill it. And then I potentially can get it down to just the Zapdos. So I get the Toxic off, which is huge. He gets a Dragon Dance off, which he is a Dragon Dance set, which does make sense because it does good against my Alolan Muck. But it does mean he's limited to coverage moves, and he actually shows Zen Headbutt right there, which means he more than likely has either two other coverage moves, like potentially Earthquake and then maybe Dragon move, or not Dragon move, but Earthquake and then something else that he might show off. But I go into my Mew. He clicks Shadow Claw right here. Now, this could have been a misplay on my part, but I am just going to click Super Fang. Potentially could have clicked Roost, but on the off chance he wanted to DD again, I could have potentially lost depending on what he had. And this puts me in a really weird position because he is in range after, I think he's in range of 2 Toxic hits at this point. So I have 2 plays right here. I can Roost on the next Shadow Claw, or I can go into my Diggersby on his Z Shadow Claw, which could be something he might have. Alternatively, like, Diggersby was a pretty decent play, but like on the off chance he was carrying another move to hit Mew and for solid damage as well as knock out my Diggersby, I wasn't willing to risk that, considering Diggersby was on win con at this point, and it could potentially be Zapdos in the back, whereas Mew could not, considering it doesn't have Toxic or anything. So I am just going to click Roost on this turn, hoping he doesn't have the Z Shadow Claw, as he goes for the regular Shadow Claw again. No crit, nothing right there, as we're able to Roost that off, and he dies to the Toxic right here, which is huge. Now at this point, I need to be able to Super Fang this Zapdos, at least get in range of a return. I think one Super Fang does that, as he gets a pair on the first discharge, which this is bringing back some memories to a game where I had with Mega Lopunny, where I don't really want to talk about, but discharge stuff. But I'm able to get a Roost off right here just to get my chance of getting a Super Fang off higher. I need at least 1, 2 would be, like, no, I guess 2 doesn't matter. But he, basically at this point, I pretty much know he's not Roost because he's like a utility Baton Pass set with maybe like 1, 2 coverage moves. And at the point, our Diggersby at 66%, if he's not running any special attack investment, if his last move is like Hidden Power Ice, I can take that. So I am feeling pretty good about my chances, but if he had Roost right here, I definitely should have taunted earlier. Just because after 1 Super Fang, then my Diggersby could take it out. So I do end up taunting right here, just in case he roosted for some reason this late, which he would have roosted earlier if he had it, but definitely something I could have done taunted earlier. But I'm going to bring my Diggersby right here. He actually just shows Discharge, pretty much, meaning he does not have the HP Ice or anything like that, and we are able to knock him out with the return. And we do win this game 1-0 in a very, very close matchup against Ryo and his Pittsburgh Huge Powers. So we get Ryo. Definitely a solid match. Closest match of the season so far for us, besides like Low Maiden's game. That was definitely really closer than what it was. But yeah, we are advanced to 4-0 for the season, and plus 11 or plus 13, I think. Yeah, we're plus 13, I think. we're doing solid right now, but our next week match is not easy again. So really tough matches right in a row. We're playing Ace of Games, I believe, and he's 3-0 at the moment. And if he wins his next game, he'll be 4-0, and that'll leave us as the last two 4-0 teams in our division. So that'll be pretty crazy. As yeah, we definitely got a tough task ahead of us, and yeah, that'll be it from me, guys. If you guys did enjoy, hopefully leave a like and subscribe if new. Really would appreciate it. It means a lot to me, and yeah, that's gonna be it. Peace.